This is episode 126 of the Gold Squadron podcast. I'm your host, Dion Morales. Actually, I forgot to ask you guys a question before we actually do this for real. Can you guys hear the fan in the background?
Gold Squadron, begin takeoff procedure.
This is episode 126 of the Gold Squadron podcast. I'm your host, Dion Morales, and today I'm joined by William Hagewood.
Give me your list. Give me all your lists.
And Marcel Snapshot Manzano.
Free shots are good shots at 7 points.
Well, so people who are watching at home or the future recording, you might be wondering, Dion, where's the shelf? Why do you look like you belong in a meditation video? That's because behind me is top secret tech for Worlds. Okay? I know you guys, this is weird. Where's the shelf? The shelf will be back in a few weeks. But honestly, probably not until after Worlds. Okay? So we're going to have this. We'll change the background once in a while. Today we're going to just keep the nice space thing. And later on, we're going to do some kind of fun after our main topic. So make sure you guys stick around. So our main topic for today is the rules reference update. That literally happened the day after we recorded. Thanks, FFG. But we've had a week to read the stuff, to digest it, to really look at it and see what's important. And that's what we really want to focus on today is what were the changes? Why do we think they were made? Our opinions on the changes and just kind of going from there. So the very first one I think is pretty simple, and that is the fact that the device upgrade slot has been changed to the payload slot. That way you can say things like reload the payload, which is really fun. Thoughts, gentlemen? I know that's a real simple one, but I think it's important because people start saying like, oh, payload upgrade, and you're like, but this is a device. No, the devices, like what are devices versus payload? Like what's the difference now?
That was literally going to be my question. What's a device?
So the device is the actual, like, the thing, the bomb, the mine, the physical. Actually, wait, I have some right here. Boom.
The cardboard markers.
Yes, these are devices.
Okay.
Right here. Devicey?
You're just holding nothing.
What do you mean?
Oh, okay, now
right
you are.
here. Look, open your eyes.
No,
I need you to bring me 5 of these, by the way, for tomorrow.
You need them tomorrow?
I need 5.
Wow. I got enough. Okay.
All right. So that's that one. I wanted to get an easy one out the bat because it's not controversial at all. It's easy, baby. What I want to talk about here, the next one, actually, we're gonna skip that one in the notes, gentlemen. We're actually gonna hit that one last. We're gonna jump to this one. So under roll attack dice, one of the changes that they made in the text is understanding how the number of attack dice and defense dice, because it's the same wording, they just changed it. How we calculate these numbers. Basically, if you have effects that take away dice, you technically end up having negative in your calculations. Like basically, they're saying the equations, if you have something that says, like Wedge, for instance, right? If Wedge is attacking a ghost through a rock at range 2, okay, the math is Ghost has native 0 agility. Wedge's ability brings it down to -1. The rock +1, the obstruction, which brings it back to 0. One of the confusion with a lot of people before was when they would have these situations like, well, you can't roll less than 0 dice. This is true. If the equation ends up negative, basically there is a statement in there that says that there's always a minimum of 0. Thoughts? Anything extra in there you guys want to throw?
I know this is not really useful, but maybe it is. Is the confusion we were having stems from first edition? In first edition, could you never lose that range bonus? Is that where my head went?
I think so. At least that's how people tried to play it, because that's what would happen. It's like, well, like they would say like, oh, the attacker, the like attacker abilities happen first, but you get the range. There was a lot of different ways to people were trying to justify ending up with the dice, which not having a clear understanding, not necessarily understanding, not having a clear ruling from FFG saying, oh, in the calculations, in the equation, you do go negative. Like not having that made it so that we just assumed that like 0 was the base. All right, you can't go past 0, and then all of a sudden now I get 1.
All right, cool. Yeah, I think it's pretty simplified now. Just calculate for everything.
That's right. Okay, now we start getting into some of the more juicy stuff. Okay, some of the more juicy stuff. There was changes to Ion. Let's go ahead and I'm actually just gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up the rules reference here so that we can all bask in its glory. And I'm definitely not trying to, elongate my sentences because I wasn't ready. Here we go.
Ion's on page 12.
There you go. I just had to get it ready. So the big thing I want to touch on is right here. It says, additionally, an ionized ship cannot perform any action except the focus action. Why does this matter, gentlemen? Why does this matter?
A focus action what? Sorry.
It's fine. Did I cut out there for you guys?
I don't know if you cut out or I cut out, but somebody cut out.
Will, did you hear what I said?
A little bit. You said that an ion ship cannot perform any action except for the focus action.
Right.
And what does that mean for the game?
Yeah. Go for it.
Well, there's a couple things. Let's reference what ions being ionized actually refers to, and it's while a ship has a number of ion tokens relative to its size, right? 1, 2, or 3. So there's a weird one, but basically free actions. So if you shoot Tur for Nur with an ion missile, now he's ionized, and he shoots and he wants to boost, well, he can't because he's ionized. If someone dropped a counter net on you, you're ionized now. You have ion tokens, but you're a supernatural Anakin. You're ionized, so you can't take anything but focus actions. This includes like supernatural, Tur for Nur. I don't know who else gets free actions off the top of my head, but there's a lot of people who do.
A lot of them.
What was the other thing? Things like, here's the two biggest ones right now: fine-tuned controls and pinpoint tractor array.
Mm-hmm.
So on the Aether Sprites, it's the Nantex rotating action.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, that's an action? Is that considered an action?
The
Yes.
rotate part is.
Ah. So does that mean, because it's a must, does that mean that because they cannot receive the penalty, they cannot take the tractor?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. So that means that now, in all those instances, I take that back, which is weird to me, because you'd remove those ion tokens after you do your maneuver, but you can still only perform. Very bold is the new wording. Can only perform. It goes one step farther. Cannot perform any action except for focus token or focus action. So like I said, who was another one I was thinking of? Lando. I've done this before, is boosting while ionized with Lando, because he does the blue one forward.
Oh yeah, look at, thank you for my free action.
Yeah, I was like, well, I guess I'll target lock, and then my perform action stuff has to be focus, I guess. But like fine-tune controls is definitely on the Aether Sprites. very much restricting that. There's a lot more and more abilities that add free actions to ships. So this really slows it down. I'm trying to think of what's the interceptors and silencers ship ability? Or you need A-wings, I guess, too.
It's auto thrusters.
Yeah, auto thrusters. I'm not sure if you used to be able to do that, but you definitely cannot do that now.
No, you cannot. And then there was okay. And then the other second most important part on here, which is important to note, is right. So you can't go back to this. Not only can you not perform any actions, and that's the reason why, but some people were trying to argue, like, oh, wait, so after you do the maneuver, right, after you do your one forward, you lose the ion token, so I can still fine-tune controls and things like that. This is not the case. If you look at step number 4 right here, it says, after the ship finishes this activation, it removes all of its ion tokens. So it has to go through all 3 of the steps. It skips the reveal dial step. It executes the maneuver. It gets to the perform action step. So anything that was like after you perform a maneuver, get actions all over the place, whatever you want, cannot happen. And then not until after you take that focus action, if you can, do the ion tokens go away. Because some people were like, well, being, there was that argument of like being ionized is having them. Well, you got to know when they actually come off. Like, that's important.
Yep, you can still get the only way out of it now is that you can't be coordinated afterwards, because that would be, as you just said, after you remove the ion tokens.
Yep. That's it. That's the only way you're getting any extra actions, if you're being coordinated. But mind you, you cannot be coordinated before you execute that maneuver because you were ionized. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be after. So if your ace, if your Initiative 6 pilot has been ionized, you ain't getting any actions. Not going to happen. Unless you have an Initiative 6. You got Fen Rao and the Sheathapede rolling around for some reason. You're paying the points for that. But yeah, that's really wanted to hit on that one.
I got one other corner case.
Hit it.
And no one uses it. I call it the nuke, but I think it's called electroproton bomb.
Okay.
Currently, it's the one of the few ways to bomb with ions. I guess technically a Rebel Sabine could hit you with an ion token as well.
Right.
But if you are, say, so in the extreme case, Dion, you're flying passive sensors, Darth Vader. Marcel just dropped a electroproton bomb a round ago, and now it blew up in your face. You rolled the dice. Now you're ioned.
Wrecked.
Vader's sitting there looking pretty dumb with his ion token, doing nothing.
I should have taken my target lock. That would be a sad Vader, for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the extreme case, but like there's other instances of like I said, to shoot an ion torpedo at an SF who had passive sensors active.
Yeah,
they won't be able to do anything then. So it's actually a weird counter to passive sensors, which I don't know. Marcel, is ion good now?
It was never bad. I don't know why you're saying
I think it just got better, right?
That is the exact answer I was looking for.
No, I'm serious. Like, I mean...
No, I agree. It was always good.
1.0, it was never bad, and it's still never bad. It's still not bad. Now, it got a little bit harder. No, actually, no. Tractor beam got harder. This didn't get harder at all. This is actually...
It's got better. They got a buff.
No, it's never bad.
It's never been bad.
Well... The effect got better, but yeah, like no, it's never been bad. What the crate says, like stealing agency. Anytime you can steal agency, great stuff. Good stuff happens.
Yeah, and if we're gonna, I think we're entering a world where Aether Sprites and Nantex are the boogeyman.
Yep.
Iron will show him what's up.
You gonna what? No, you're not. No, you're not. All right. Well, let's hit the next one. Marcel, let's talk about this a little bit. So the next one I want to talk about is strain. Okay. I should have put myself in this other corner because I'm leaning this way. Fail. I will fix it later. I'm just awkwardly looking off screen. So the update to strain right here says, after a strain ship applies the effect to roll one fewer defense die this way, it removes one strain. Why does this matter? What pilot does this matter for?
I mean, this is the Finn rule.
Yes.
I mean, it's the Finn rule, basically saying that after Finn defends, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, is written, when they say raw, written as, or rules as written, Finn and the old strain interaction says strain interaction after you defend, you can remove the strain. Finn says while you defend, you can get a strain to add a focus. So while he defends, he gets a strain, and then after he defends, he loses it.
Right.
Which was obviously never intended to be that way, and Finn was he's still undercosted, but
yeah, he's not bad. He's just not as good as he was, right?
By a tiny bit. By a tiny bit, because even if he rolls one die and he adds another blank, he can still heroic off of that, and then anyway,
Can he?
so he's still fine.
Sorry.
Yeah, can he?
No, I know. I read the notes, so it was a joke. He was.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, Finn is still good, but the no consequence. Yeah, it basically gets rid of the no consequence, add a focus for defense. Basically turn them into a 2 agility Vinny. With actually better than a 2 agility Vinny, because he didn't have to have any arcs anywhere. He just got a free focus because
yeah, it's just like, oh, here you go. because the rules are broken.
Yeah, a certain Ryan Staniszewski is a big fan of old Finn. I know Ryan is listening right now for special reasons. And yeah, Ryan, eat that. Use Finn now, buddy. No, but yeah, that's basically just yeah, it just basically means after Finn defends, if he decides to take a strain because he wants to get that free focus, the next time he gets shot, if he's getting shot in that same turn, he's going to get shot with a strain. Or if he wants to use the focus on, with Perceptive Copilot, if he wants to use focus on offense, now he's carrying around 2 strains, and he's only going to be able to lose one of the 2 with his blue maneuver. So it's just basically, more than anything, it's just a correction on a misprinted Finn card.
Yeah, for sure. And this is for one of the biggest things I like about this is because FFG has this rules reference and is willing to update it in ways like this. It's a cleaner update than adding words to Finn to make the ability work. Because people were like, oh, we need a completely FAQ Finn, and FFG was like, actually, we could fix this with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 10 words, in the rules reference. Go ahead, Will.
My question was just going to be, we normally saw Finn in like 42 or 43 point variants, heroic, perceptive co-pilot, and then choose the more defensive more defensive pattern analyzer, or the more offensive advanced optics. Do you think going forward we'll see Finn at that point cost, or is he going to be pretty much just heroic from now on?
So
can he still provide that value at over 40 points?
What do you think, Marcel?
Yeah. Can Finn still provide value at over 40 points? Is that the question?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm being sarcastic. Is that the question?
I think at first.
I'm being facetious. Yeah, I mean, you think about it. So you can do 41 points with C3PO if you want to go the calculates, but that's the bad choice. That's the you put too many points somewhere else choice. With the Perceptive Copilot, Pattern Analyzer, Heroic, and then Finn itself, you still get everything you want. I mean, you get 2 free focus results. He's 43 points. Basically, he costs the same, or let me restate this. He costs 1 point more than like the worst X-wing, and he costs the same as the worst T-70. So how is that not a steal? He's taking actions while red. He's getting double focuses, and he can turn those he can add dice and basically add defense or attack on a whim just because he says, "Hey, I want to do that today." How is that? He's still a steal. I mean, if you're moving away from Finn because of this ruling, you're making a mistake. I mean, if Finn is he as good as he used to be? No, but is he still the best value points wise for the Resistance? Probably yes. With I'm trying to think of an exception. Probably some of the A-wings are steal too, like Zari. Greer and Zari are probably a steal. But I mean, for the most part, outside of the A-wings, Finn is just point for point.
All right. Here's a follow-up question for you guys. Then
Sure.
I heard what you said. Here's a follow-up question. Does this make you want to shoot at Finn more or less?
That's a great. I mean, he's going to be easier to hurt now.
Because
he's still.
I understand what you're saying, Marcel, but like I kind of want to shoot at him more now. Like light him up.
Well, you have a better.
But he's got 2 focuses. He's got 2. I mean, he's going to evade more than a regular X-wing.
He'll block 4 hits. Good for him.
Yeah,
maybe 5.
And at the end of the day, you spent maybe a total of 6-7 shots, and you ended up with 43 points. Congratulations! I mean that. I mean, yay for you! You spent 2 or 3 rounds killing a 43-point ship. I mean, isn't that what the V19s want to do? Just have you waste a couple rounds shooting at something that's meaningless?
I mean, it's the same. It's the same idea, but those are only worth 25 points. That's
yeah.
It even exacerbates it more.
No, but I mean, I'm saying Finn will live longer than a V19, though.
For sure.
What do you think, Dion?
So
how does this change how you interact with Finn?
Well, I think first I want to talk about the list building aspect. I think people will have the initial reaction that you were talking about, Will. How people will automatically be like, well, Finn isn't as good anymore. I don't want to put it in my list. I think that will be a mistake, like Marcel was saying, by a lot of list builders because he can't do all the same tricks. Still really efficient. The biggest thing is he still hits like a truck. You know, you were taking the strain when you were double focusing, you know, and attacking. Like you were still taking that strain, and because he's such low initiative, you were clearing that strain 9 times out of 10 before anybody could attack you again anyway. Mm-hmm. So he's still really good, and rather than say it's a mistake to not put him in, I'm going to go to the opposite side and say it's the correct choice to put him in. Yeah, I still think he's a great ship for the Resistance, for sure. And as for your other question is like, how do I interact with him? I think a lot of times, I mean, against a good player, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, you kind of have to. When I've played against Finns, one thing that I've been really successful with, and I don't play. I'm usually casting the premiere event, so I'll just talk about it. Right, I'm trying to bait people to stretch their 4x4 resistance out so that Finn either ends up getting left behind, or out in front, where they're like, well, I got to go fast with Finn. I got pattern analyzer. I'm okay going fast, and try to clip them early, because you don't want those taking those 4 hits to the face consistently when he gets into range 1. So that's what I think. All right. Well, let's keep rolling here. The next one I want to talk about was actually the topic for the latest quick tips. Should I just play the quick tips? Is that what I should do in this section? If you didn't watch the quick tips, watch the quick tips, and that is on Tractor. So, Will, what's changed with Tractor?
They clarified what it means to be tractored. I'm trying to scroll in here. Oh, because it's on 2 different things. Basically, before you were considered tractored if you had a tractor token. Now they very much clarify that you're only tractored when you have tractor tokens equal to your size, 1, 2, and 3. But the big clarification comes, excuse me, that was always been there, right? That you're only tractored if you're large base, if you got 3. The change for the larger ship sizes was that while a tractored ship defends, it rolls 1 fewer defense dice. So if you are not tractored, if you're a contracted scout with 2 tractor beams on you, you are not tractored. Therefore, you do not roll 1 fewer dice. The other minor change was that normally when you become tractored, you're allowed to barrel roll or boost, depending on who gave you the tractor tokens and what they want to do about that. But they changed it to where it's only the first time a ship becomes tractored each round that they can apply those effects. So if you, this all stems from ensnare Nantaxes. And basically, really simple situation for this is your Nantax 1 was tractored, did boost, and then ensnared another ship. And then your Nantax 2 also boosted when he rotated and gained the tractor, but now he's going to ensnare Nantax number 1. Nantax before would have been, again, tractored and would then be allowed to boost a second time.
Right, because it was the going from untractored to tractored that caused the effect, rather than just the first time.
Right, it was, the act of becoming tractored. Now, very much states that the first time a ship becomes tractored...
I'm laughing because that sounds like a motivational book.
What?
The Act of Becoming Tractored by William Hakewood. Sorry.
No, that's okay. So there's a couple like goofy things you could do now, like quad jumpers tractoring Nantax so that they can't barrel out of an arc, I guess. That's about it. I don't know. Is there any other situations other than what I described about ensnaring your own Nantax who ensnared somebody else? Is there other ways to untractor yourself during the round?
Well, like Nantex on Nantex crime as well. Like
right.
you could
that makes sense.
you tractor yourself to make sure that when they tractor you can't be moved.
Yeah, so when you ensnare somebody and then they have 2 tractor tokens, well, they say, well, I'm going to ensnare you back, and then now you got a tractor token for the second time, so then they could move you.
Yeah.
But you can't now.
Yep.
That's weird. I guess, is there something with Plo Koon? Could Plo Koon somehow become untractored? I guess you would need 2 Plo Koons then. So I don't think that's a thing.
Plo
Koon, I think isn't Plo Koon the... No, that's Mace. Never mind. Plo Koon is the one that gives like a token to somebody else, right?
Gives a green or takes a orange.
So we have an interesting question in the chat, and I think this will be a good point of discussion. Somebody here, shout out to Old Gray Rat, because I think it is an interesting point here. He says, so with this change to tractor, can we reduce the cost of ensnare now? Do we think that the nerf is it the nerf to or the change to tractor?
No, I assume that when they released, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here, that they assumed that this was how you're supposed to play the game when they priced the ensnare.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in that same boat because ensnare is still a scary piece of tech against small base ships. Like Imperial Aces look at ensnare and go, "Oh crap." Like they don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah, if you're a small base PS5, you probably do want ensnare to go up.
Yeah,
more than what, 24 points? I think Sun's paying for it.
No, is it that much?
I think it's 24 points on him. We did a whole thing last time about how he's 54 and then 76. And I'm not great at math, but I can only guess. I can't look it up. I can almost guarantee it's 24, which is quite a bit. Confirmed. 24.
So then it's like, oh, but 24 points. Yes, 24 points at Initiative 6 is fine because you have perfect information, and that's with things like supernatural reflexes, precognitive reflexes, advanced sensors. The value on these things that either move yourself, that basically take away agency from the dial, the later in the initiative phase, the more expensive those things must be. They have to be more expensive. Like that's the scaling of the points by initiative is one of the, I think, the smartest things with these type of reposition abilities that FFG has done with the points costing. I think it's really, really smart. And I was glad to see that Ensnare had it right off the bat. So I'm okay with 24 points. I think it's fine. I've messed around with Sunfac a little bit, and it is fine. Like, of course, you want, like, I would love to fit more things in a list with Sunfac, but
now,
is it balanced? I don't think so.
Do you like the way that it's distributed, where it goes 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and then it skyrockets? I mean, do you think because I happen to think, I've been playing around with it too. I just happen to think that the Initiative 4 should probably, the jump from 10 to more than 10.
I think it goes 10,
3.
16, 24.
So
yeah, exactly. But it goes 10 all the way to 4, and then 5 is 16. 6 is 24.
Well, yeah, I mean, because they have a PS3, a PS, right? It's PS3, 4, or excuse me, Initiative. Let's go ahead and just
they have Initiative. Gogol. Don't you dare forget Gogol.
No, I'm just, well,
How dare you? But actually,
anyway, I'm saying the Initiative 4s are very good, Turtech especially, but I think that Ensnare should be higher for the Force because there's a lot of there's still a lot you can do with Initiative 4.
I think I can agree with you on that. I'm honestly though, I've been looking. While Turtech has a superior ability, he can reroll 2 of its dice if the defender is tractored. I know Brewer Kret's got like an interesting ability that lets people calculate when they have a lock on somebody. It's so specific, right? It's fun to like list build around it. But the 6 more points on Ensnare sounds like a lot for Brewer Kret. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But I do want to point out that he is only 1 more point than Turtech. So it's a gross or net or whatever it is, of just a 7 points difference between the two. And honestly, 7 points to go up 1 more initiative and Ensnare doesn't sound that bad. when the leap is 22 points to go up to 6.
Agreed.
Because like you just said, that there's a lot of 3s and 4s out there.
Yeah.
Enough. So with I mean, the problem is that his ability is downright garbage.
You're just bringing the chassis, right?
Yeah, you're bringing it for I5, but it's the oddball conundrum again. It's like, well, I guess we can give him an I5 too. We're gonna basically make his ability blank though. I don't know. I agree though. Chertek is the best one. But man,
Yeah, because I mean, it just has a good combination of.
and what, he's 1 more point than I'm just saying that on any other chassis. I know we're going into this for too long, but on any other chassis, if I told you that you could go from a generic 4 to a unique 5 for 2 more points, you'd snatch it up.
Yep. Take it. Sold.
Anyways, what is there anything else we haven't covered?
There's
Tractor?
About Tractor.
Oh,
No,
there's the thing that we skipped originally. That's right. All right.
yeah, we're gonna come back to that. So I need. May I have the soapbox, please? May I have the soapbox, please? Okay. So I would like us to take a moment and look back. If I had the time, I would go back and edit in the clip of the podcast when we were talking about R4, the use of R4 Astromech and /or Leia Organa resistance crew with Covanel. At the inception, I said they both work. And for saying this, the Carolina Crates made a clip of me saying this and basically called me an idiot in a loving, saying, Dion, you're wrong kind of way. And that's because I was just going as rules as written when looking at this. I would like to now get an official apology from the Crates for being proven right by FFG. Whether or not you agree or not, what I'm referring to, all jokes aside, what I'm referring to is in the Q&A section, basically they've confirmed that both R4 and Leia Organa basically work with Covanel. Let me go ahead and just read it to you. It says, when an effect checks the difficulty of your revealed maneuver, such as Covanel's pilot ability, do any effects that alter the difficulty of your maneuvers, such as R4, Astromech, and Leia Organa, apply? And the answer is no. The difficulty of the revealed maneuver matches its printed color, period. Period. Okay? There's an extra sentence there that doesn't matter for my point. But basically, when they say revealed maneuver, it is whatever is on that little circle thing in your hand is what the revealed color is. I'm done. I'm done being crazy. Okay. I lost my train of thought just because I was on the soapbox. I was up there.
So Covanel, how does that affect Covanel? I personally think that the Leia Organa version, while can moonwalk, I haven't put it on the table, but I do love just the image of Covanel just moonwalking out of a fight with that's doing white reverses the whole time. Well, I think that's hilarious. That's so expensive though. What, 54 points, something like that?
Yeah, you got budget Kova. You just throw R4 in there if you can't afford Resistance Leia. And that's a big difference in price. That's a huge difference in price.
17-point difference. Well, I mean, in theory, you should probably have pattern analyzer though.
Right.
Right. Like R4 and pattern analyzer, because guess what? You're gonna have to stop her, do a 1 reverse at some point in time. But I think that's pretty interesting. So what is that budget? That's 40 points for just an R4 Kovo. Probably should put a cannon on there though, because you're not always doing blue maneuvers like a tractor beam or something. Ion cannon.
Nah.
Nah, just get out there and start hard one. And
That's right. Hard one for days. Hard one stop. Hard one stop.
well, don't be stopping. Oh well.
It works.
Wait.
You'll be all right.
Well, you can't clear your stress though.
I know. That's why you do. I guess. Fine. One bank to clear the stress.
No, just sit there, fly as fast as you can to the middle of the board and start hard one.
Right.
That's dirt cheap. That's your new filler.
Oh yeah.
Stop running. Stop running Finn. Put an R4 Kova in there.
Done. And then here's the thing. I still think Resistance Leia is really, really good. You know, I just think, like you said, we have a different option there when list building. Little budget action. The next thing I want to talk about, let's go ahead and scroll down here. Oh, no, is it higher? Here we go. So this one right here, Marcel, let's go ahead and read this Q&A.
If a ship attempts a purple action such as barrel roll or boost and fails, the action must spend the force token. And then there's another one. Yes, a purple action's force cost is the cost attempt to perform. Thank you. That one's easier to read. Is a cost attempt to perform that purple action. Actions is still paid even if the action fails. The action's cost is still spent. Anyway, if you fail a boost, if you fail anything, you still spend the force. Even though you might want to read the one right after. Whose dog was that?
That was mine.
Okay.
So say my dog does not sound like that.
Somebody let the dogs out. So the next one, and then this is the one I like. This is my baby. This is my happy space. This is my happy place. So the one right after that is if Anakin Skywalker in the new Boo Royal N1, that's Baby Annie, uses his pilot ability to barrel roll. Note that this is not a barrel roll action and fails. Must he spend the force? And the answer is no. A barrel can fail in the same manner as a barrel roll action, but because it's not an action, it has no cost. So he does not spend his force.
Yep. So I'll go ahead and flip over to the Annie actual card right there. So you'll see it says, before you reveal your maneuver, you may spend one force to barrel roll. So if you don't actually barrel roll, you don't need to spend the force because the cost is a barrel roll and you need to get in exchange. The cost is a force and you need to get into it in exchange a barrel roll. If you don't get it, you don't have to pay for it. Because of how his ability is worded. And it even says right there in parentheses, this is not an action.
Yeah.
So just wanted to bring that up.
Baby Annie. Baby Annie meta. Coming at you.
Baby Annie meta.
Yeah, so actually this is really good because, it works in a lot of ways, but one of the areas where I think it's a little bit contradicting, and I don't know if we're going, I don't know if this is in part of the, if this is, we're going to talk about it. But
he's going rogue. He's going rogue. Go ahead.
No, I think it was part of the rules change too. It had like some red text around sense, right?
Oh yeah,
but
sense as well.
The next one.
Yeah. The next one, but that's a little bit contradictory to sense because sense is, the way it was being ruled before was that if you're going to sense, you must declare that you're using sense. So you have to spend your force unless you find someone at range 1. And if you find someone at range 1, then you keep your force, but you have to declare whether you're sensing or not. Now with the new rules, you can actually measure to see if anybody is in range 1, then decide whether you're going to spend your force to sense or not. So I think that's a little bit contradictory to what they're saying there with like the.
Well, I think
wait.
I think it's because you're looking at the spending part of the statement rather than the way sense is worded. So if we go ahead and pull up sense, it says during the system phase you may choose one ship at range 0 to 1 and look at its dial. Okay, if it was worded, you know, spend one force to, you know.
No, you're saying it wrong. If it said, choose a ship.
Yeah, there you go. If it says choose a ship. Yeah, there you go.
Choose a ship,
That's-
period. If that ship was range 2 to 3, spend a
Yep.
force. If it
Exactly.
was 0 to 1, do not.
Exactly. So, you know, just the wording there just allows you to just measure for free. It gives you an opportunity to measure for free. And that's them trying to be consistent with their wording. And the only way that would change, they would have to change the actual text of the card the way Will was saying.
Did you guys know that you can always look at your own dial?
Just don't look at your
You're range
opponent's.
0. I mean, you're at range 0 yourself, right?
You can sense. I'm gonna sense myself here.
Well, just be like, oh, I'm gonna try to find a ship. All these guys are at range 2, I guess, currently. So I'll just look at my own dial.
Yep. Because
mean,
you are at range. Because it's
the
just
ruling they let you put the ruler out, so do it. Measure all the things.
Yep, and it does say choose one ship at range 0 to 1. It doesn't say other ship.
All right, fair enough.
Yep. I mean that's why you can pick yourself. That's the only reason. So let's get into some little silly, something that's going to be more for Epic. It's an upcoming upgrade here. We're going to talk a little bit about what we're assuming is the Cicatro Visago card because it's the ability that he had in first edition for where is my button there? There it goes. All right, so it says some effects can exchange or equip an upgrade card from one ship to another during or after setup. Bullet point. It says an effect can move an upgrade to a ship that does not have the matching icon on its upgrade bar. So, for instance, you could give an illicit to somebody who doesn't have an illicit slot. But the next part is really what's more important. It says an effect cannot move an upgrade to a ship that does not meet the requirements set out in the restriction box of the upgrade card unless the effect says to equip the card ignoring restrictions. So I can go ahead and pull up, for instance, rigged cargo chute. Okay, rigged. Of course, it would stall right in the moment I would need it. And this is why I do this stuff off screen. Wow. Well, there we go. Okay, so rig cargo chute says right here next to Will's face, it says medium or large ship. So if if a ship doesn't meet those what's the word? Upgrade requirements. The requirements. You're unable to do that type of replacement effect for the upgrade cards. It's a pretty simple one.
So you said that this might be due to Epic, that we don't want cloaked Epic ships, or
Cloaking device.
yeah, because even rigged cargo chute says medium or large, does not say huge.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, that's kind of sad. Everybody who was dropping rigged cargoes off of quad jumpers using pattern analyzer. I feel for you guys now.
My heart. All right.
They were having fun, Dion.
They were.
And they just when FFG comes to
No
the air,
fun for
it
you.
just says,
No fun for you.
Stop having that fun.
Okay.
This is a serious game, guys. Get out of here.
This is a competitive game. You play by the rules.
I want to point out how little FFG cares about people who actually want to fly Shizago. Look at the frequently asked questions, or it's specific card questions.
Okay.
Right. Now I might just shoot myself in the face here. Nope, I am correct. Their example references such as equipping a stealth device on a Z95 and then exchanging it with a rigged cargo chute on a YV666. A stealth device? A stealth device. That's not the name of that upgrade. It's called a cloaking device.
Cloaking device, wrecked FFG.
That's how little they care about people playing Survival, that they're not even going to they're not even gonna fact check their FAQ entry. They're just like, yeah, whatever, it doesn't work, get over it.
It might say like, you know, epic play only on there. No, it wouldn't say that. We haven't seen a card like that, but we don't know because we haven't seen the huge ship things.
We've seen the diamond, whatever that means. You know what I'm talking about. People paying attention to epic articles.
Oh, I'm excited for we need to have an epic episode. I think maybe that could be next week.
Oh my god, we gotta wait till we have that stuff on. Like, we gotta wait till after Worlds for that, because hopefully we'll have that epic stuff. There's so much that we just don't know about it.
Epic speculation episode.
Oh my god, that is okay. I'm down for whatever. I'll talk epic. I'm just saying that, like, me personally, who I think I'm following all the information, still feels that, like, I don't know what epic's all about. What is up with that?
It looks awesome. That's all. I know I'm excited.
That's awesome.
I'm excited to play it. That's right. All right, so we've gotten to the people are still confused, and I understandably, about everybody's favorite piece, and that is the ability queue. The ability queue. I'm not going to read you the paragraph because I know that when reading this paragraph, it's very easy to just kind of space out, and you're like, what did I just finish reading? A couple of really important keys in this addition that's been made here. First is when something is added to the ability queue, if its cost or necessary situations are not available when it's its turn in the ability queue, it cannot trigger. Okay? It just can't happen. So, for instance, if you have some type of ability that is looking for a stressed ship at the start of engagement, but because of how the ability queue worked out, the enemy ship no longer is stressed, and your ability comes up, it's gone. Like, you just don't get to have it. It just doesn't happen. It's basically just deleted from the ability queue. So I would really want to make sure that's important, because people just try like, oh, let's just do all these effects. Another thing that I think is important to remember is that the ability queue only happens when we have the same timing window. Sometimes people get confused on steps in like modifying dice, like, oh, the person who didn't roll the dice modifies first, and the person who rolls it goes second. I've seen people try to do like ability queue things during like basic modifications. I'm like, wait, what are you doing? This is not correct. Ability queue only happens when people have the exact same timing window trigger. And that's really what I wanted to hit there. Was there anything else about the ability queue that you guys wanted to talk about?
I just got a bunch of like little quizzes.
Oh no! On the spot.
Here's my main quizzes.
I might have to take notes. Hold on.
Sorry. Oh no, it's not that intense. I just know a bunch of them because they're all on Scum. But there's a lot of so we're referencing entering the ability queue. That's what we got to wrap our heads around. Entering the ability queue. And the easiest way to find out how an ability can enter the queue is to figure out when it triggers and what its requirements for triggering are. And all the easy ones are in Scum. Payload. At the start of engagement, that's when your trigger is happening.
The window.
So, yep, comma. You may choose one enemy ship in your firing arc at range 0 to 2. Bam. That's your can you enter the ability queue. So if at the start of engagement, you look and measure and say, I can enter that ability into the queue. And then, because now tractor beaming at the start of combat's a thing. Well, I guess it's always been a thing, but then you have to wait until it's your turn to activate that ability. Same thing for Torkoal Mux. At the start of engagement, comma, you may choose one ship in your firing arc, period. That's how his ability enters the queue. And once you start reading these abilities in that mindset, you can start finding out basically like how these things can enter the queue, because it is weird. We have to stop thinking about abilities as, you know, one single entity and think about how they're interacting with this ability queue. Katsuno, gonna keep, they're all in Scum, or at least all the start of engagement phases are. Start of engagement phase, you may choose one ship in both your front and tractor, or front and mobile at range 0 to 1. Because of how people and final ones hold T. Like I said, these are all start of engagement things, and so it's really easy if Ketsu. So if you can't activate all these abilities, right? And say Torkoal activates, you're in range 3 of him in his arc. Ketsu tractor beams you, but she's going to move you then into old T's range 1. So you can strip all your tokens. His, at the start of engagement phase, choose an enemy ship at range 1, but that ship wasn't at range 1 at the start of engagement phase. So you can't do ulti, you do all the other things. So I'm questioning you guys of like, try to find abilities that have no, what do I want to say? Not timing window, but like specific requirement to get into the queue. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like Manaru is another one. Still in Scum. They're all in Scum. But start of engagement phase, choose a friendly ship at 0 to 1. Bam. Is there? Can you give me an example of? Because I was obviously using all the start of engagement ones because those are the ones that are really conflicted because you and your opponent have to trigger all of them and then decide which ones. An easy one is the fine-tune controls versus snapshot. So, when you move your Jedi Knight, my Phoenix Squadron A-Wing, you move, and I say, snapshot enters queue, because snapshot only requires, I'll read it here, snapshot only requires after an enemy ship executes a maneuver, comma.
Right.
You can perform this attack, which is a range 2 attack. So it can enter the queue just after anybody executes a maneuver. But Jedi Knight says after you fully execute a maneuver as well. Same timing, they both enter the queue at the same time. So in fact, a Jedi Knight could land range 3, but if he needs to barrel roll around a rock, he might actually put himself in range 2 of that snapshot and be snapshotted then, assuming he's first player. So that's another way that like abilities entering the queue. I'm trying to think of what are some other timing things that are conflicted. I had one more example for Scum, and it's Tel Tavera with Dead Man Switch, which I don't even know if that works, but it might work. But is there somebody effect when they like kill somebody? Someone get a bonus for after they destroy a ship?
When they destroy a ship.
I'm trying to think of. Like, this is a super complicated one. Tell Trevor with Deadman Switch against a range 1 quick draw who hasn't taken a bonus attack yet. What was that? How does that play out, Guillaume? I honestly,
I'm
that's
out.
a terrible one to cover because the
out.
destroying rules are weird.
Yeah, that
So maybe
that sounds like a mission for another day.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just trying to think of like, oh, here's an easy one. Termpreneur, because that's a ship. Termpreneur. Okay. Hey.
You're not wrong. Yep. Yeah. We can pretend like he gets to play.
Well, I mean, in a meta with no 5s and 6s, he's pretty good. But I'll let you know when that happens. Anyways, verse another dark horse, 066. One has 066 says after you defend, comma, is this trigger, and Terpreneur says after you perform an attack, comma. So those would actually, I assume, then trigger at the exact same time.
Yeah. That seems right.
Yep, so they would both enter the queue, and then who's ever first player, we'll say it's 066. Okay. 066 takes a barrel roll, because his ability says you may spend 1 calculate token to perform an action. He has this calculate, he decides, I'm going to barrel roll before you can do anything, Ter. And then Ter is sitting there and says, well, I can, after I make an attack, I can perform a barrel roll or boost, even if stressed. But now 066 is blocking all your boost and barrel roll positions. So I guess you don't get to.
Sad.
So even though Ter entered the ability queue, he's out of luck on that.
Nothing for you.
I don't know. That's about all I got. It's made me relook at every single ability and ask, what is your requirement, or when do you trigger, and
Yeah.
is there a requirement?
When do you get to do a thing? So go ahead.
Oh no, that's all I got.
All right.
That's my deep in-depth analysis on abilities lately.
So is there anything else? Like there was more inside the FFQ, not the FAQ, excuse me, the rules reference update where you have pink text, but a lot of it was like just reiteration, stuff that we already knew. Like, so for instance, like, oh, does rig cargo shoot when you drop it on somebody actually cause them to suffer the effects? Yes. Like there's a bunch of clarification. So if you haven't read the stuff yet, make sure you actually read it. It's important. Things got updated, so make sure you guys go ahead and take a look. We can talk more about it later. If you have a question about it, make sure you guys submit it for our question of the week. Marcel or Will, is there anything else like vital that you think maybe we missed before we move on?
There's nothing vital. I'll just say that it's interesting that you can't lock yourself, and also
not allowed.
It is possible in this game to have a double reinforced front or a reinforced front and back token. And they said that if you are double reinforced in the front, which is possible, I'm not going to tell you how, you're going to figure it out for yourself. But
insert math in here.
No,
right?
It's just saying you can double reinforce your front. There's 1 or 2 ways to do it, but it does say that will work, and it can be so. If you take 3 damage, both the reinforces can take 1 to a minimum of just a single damage going through, which I thought was interesting. I never really thought about having 2 reinforces, because why would you? That doesn't make any sense.
Because I can. Alrighty, so we're gonna have a little fun now. We have a little fun. I mean, we were already having fun. So
I was falling asleep. I was literally falling asleep, and I am.
I mean, you're on medication and stuff. It's fine.
No, not just the medication part. It just ever since I read the initial rules and everything else that has to do with the, I don't mind. The part that bothers me is that little section that they added about that you guys were just finished talking about, the whole start of engagement and this
The
and
ability
that
queue?
and end of and yeah, like that whole thing is like I was reading the whole thing and I was like, yes, 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 right direction, and oh, you lost me. Because it's turning a checkers game into a not even actually I don't like
Well,
that because Star Wars is a chess game, not a checkers game. Let me restate that. But it's just making rules mongering and like, oh, but this goes there and that goes here, and then if you go here and he barrel rolls him here, then Ultra Rock is not going to be able to take his token because his token was not queued up from before, and blah 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 blah. And
okay,
oh
but
god, that's gonna be such an
hold on.
annoying tournament.
See, but here's the thing. I can just take the opposite side of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because I would take the argument of they have to put it there because of somebody taking advantage and saying that, oh, this ability XYZ, whatever it is, still works. Because I would rather them define how the ability queue is supposed to work and have us figure it out. There's going to be mistakes, that's fine, but when it comes down to big moments in games, and worlds and stuff like that, having the actual correct order is going to be really important because of interactions. And I think it's great that we have that defined.
Yeah, it just makes it.
I know it's a lot of words. It's okay. We're going to be okay. We're going to be
Are
okay. Maybe. There's a 50%.
If everyone just stopped using tractor beams, it would get a whole lot easier.
I don't know how okay we're gonna end up being. That's the problem.
We're going to try. Well, we're going to have a little fun here for those of you who watch at home, okay? So if you only listen, you can see the fruits of our labor later on, but you're going to get to listen to us do this because it's only going to take a couple seconds. So like I said, the reason I'm not on the normal set with the shelves behind me and stuff is because that area currently contains top secret tech and testing materials for our World Championship coverage. And we're going to be in the green screen room here for a little bit, for a few weeks. So I thought we'd have some fun with it. And I know the internet loves their memes. They love editing things. So what I'm going to give you the opportunity to do, I'm going to go ahead and flip over to here. I'm going to turn off. Well, give me a second to do this. I'm going to turn off the key here and give the internet an opportunity to use this green screen however they wish. Have some fun with it. Keep it clean. Post it on your on our Facebook and on our Discord so that we can see them. And I look forward to putting up a slideshow later. You could, I'll do a couple of faces. What kind of faces should I make? Should it be like inquisitive?
You got to do the angry yelling girl. You know what I'm talking about?
Angry yelling girl. I can see you. What can you show me what? Let's see, like this and be angry.
Pointing and yelling, and anger.
Was that good enough? I don't know.
It's fine.
This is your opportunity to just get a good screenshot and just have some fun with it. All right.
Can you act like you're pretending? Well, please pretend. Can you act like you're being choked by Darth Vader?
No. How do you pretend to be? There's a joke in here. How do you pretend? Like, there you go. I got you. All right.
Okay.
So whatever you want. I just want to see how creative people can be. If I gave them a green screen, what to do with it? Like what would they do?
There's got to be There's got to be a good
at least
suggestion in the chat. Come on, chat. Give us a great one.
All right. So we're going back to the studio. All right. Okay. So the next thing we're going to hit is our question of the week. Our question of the week comes from the Wookiee Barber. Says, hi, here's my submission for a potential quick tips or podcast question. Now, I want to remind you guys that we take all of our questions of the week and lists of the week from our Discord. There are some people who who Facebook message me them sometimes, and they try to do it that way. I only take them for Discord just to keep myself organized, so I'm only looking in a single place. Also, reminder, if you're on our Discord, and in the submissions only list for list of the week and question of the week, if you guys could just submissions only in that rather than replying to them, because what happens is like things get shoved up and we end up not seeing it. So appreciate your help with that. Okay, question of the week here is: can Finn, the pilot, use heroic after rolling a blank, then using his ability to add a blank result? Then use the heroic talent ability to re-roll both, since they're both blanks. Did you get all that?
I did, yeah.
Will, translate. Answer our question of the week.
All right, so this is interesting in two ways, because normal Finn rolls double blanks, he can add the blank and then look at heroic, which requires all results to be blank, and re-roll them. I think the confusion comes from, so quick answer, yes. As long as there's always blanks and you haven't re-rolled those dice yet.
And there's two or more. There has to be
Yes,
two or more.
That is correct. I think the confusion comes from the wording of heroic, which asks if you have only blank result. Or no, I guess it doesn't say that.
Yeah,
I thought
it doesn't have anything about
you
rolling
rolled.
dice. It doesn't have
No.
anything about rolling. So it's a modification. I think is what some people misunderstand. Like it is a modification similar to a target lock, where you can essentially like choose to spend heroic. Like you're not actually spending it, but it is one of these where you choose to do it. And because of Finn's ability being able to add that blank result, if you had only a single one, you add one. Because you were strained, you could end up with two results. Now the going down the rabbit hole with this question, I did see somebody take it even further. Like, but what if you rolled a single blank because you were strained, and you add a blank, and now you can heroic, and you roll, and they're both blanks. Can I now use Finn's ability again to add another blank? And the answer is no, because of once per opportunity rules. You can only use his ability one time per defending. So that's just important to note there. I think we hit the question. Wookie Barber, I do see you in the chat. It says, woohoo, having lunch from the Philippines right now.
I got one more small note about that. It's Rose Pico Crew on Finn.
Okay.
You're out of focuses. You rolled blank eyeball. Rose lets you spend one of your results. So you spend the eyeball result, leaving you with one blank. You can Finn, add your second blank, and heroic those. So you do a 80, as long as it's two blanks, you could re-roll them.
That's right.
At least two blanks.
Yeah. And remember that, okay? When heroic first came out, I saw, even against me, I didn't realize it for a while that it was two or more. It has to be two or more blanks out there, not just one. It's got to be more than one. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into Marcel's favorite section of the podcast, and that's List of the Week. List of the Week. Our List of the Week comes from Psych J7 today. Here it is. So he's named it Kret Crack, and it is a separatist list. It has Brewer Kret, that is the Nantex Initiative 3 pilot, with the ability, we'll go ahead and just read that to you guys. The ability says, while you defend or perform an attack, you can spend one calculate token from a friendly ship at range 0 to 1 to change one eyeball result to an evade or a hit result. He has Predator and Crackshot on there, so no ensnare. That's important to note. Then he's got a Hyena, the Techno Union Bomber, with the DRK-1 probe droids and an energy shell. Another Hyena, this is DBS-32C, with K2B4, that is a tactical relay that allows you to spend a calculate to add an evade or the attacker takes a strain, with landing struts. And then rounding out the list with 3 Vulture droids and energy shells. Marcel, you cannot put in a escape craft because we're not in that faction. Don't try to do it, okay, man?
It's only 12 points, though.
All right, what are we doing here? What do you think?
I got mine's really simple. I think as much as I like K2B4 and DBS 32C's got amazing coordinate ability.
Which is let's go ahead and take a minute. It says at the start of the engagement phase, you may spend 1 calculate token to perform a coordinate action. You cannot coordinate ships that do not have network calculation ship ability.
Yeah, if that ship didn't have the network calculations requirement for the coordinate, I think it would be very, very strong. But I have 48 points for 32C. Sounds like the same cost as 2 Energy Shell Trade Federation drones. So I'm just deleting 32C and hitting clone a couple times on those Trade Federations. Ends up with 5 shells, 6 shells if you count the Techno Union Bomber and probe droids. That's not bad. That to me is worth not bringing in snare on Brewer Crep, because the list should do fine without him.
So what does Brewer do? What's his ability again?
After you perform an attack that hits, each friendly ship with calculate on its action bar and a lock on the defender may perform a red calculate action. We did a bunch of test builds for this. It's really fun to build for this guy. And this list is hitting all the things you need, which is multiple ships, many calculating ships, and you almost need probe droids in there as well.
Yeah, I think probe droids is a must, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to check something out real quick. How much are the belly rubs?
I was looking at the same thing at first to see if I could still squeeze in that K2B4. You can, but it doesn't look very good. You can still bring what, Sear?
No, I wasn't looking K2B4, TA175.
You want the 175. So Sear 175 and what, struts on everybody?
No. So where are we at now? Which one am I looking at? Left or right?
This is the original list right here. So let me know what you want me to do.
All right.
It's the same thing. That's just the bigger version.
So I agree with him. I mean, I love the coordinate, but the coordinate really only works when you have either a plasma torpedo, proton torpedo, or a diamond boron. With energy shells, it just doesn't carry the same. It just doesn't pull its weight without. So you got to get rid of that DBS 32C. Unfortunately. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna go a different route. I'm gonna go a different route. So get all the energy shells out.
Okay, leaves you with a total of 64 points.
No, you got one more energy shell in there.
Oh, sorry, 69 points.
Now hit clone a bunch of times till you hit 200. Where are you at now?
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total drones. We are at the
And-
max ship count. We're at 8 ships. We have the bomber with DRKs and then Brewer Kret.
Gotcha.
We have 12 points left over.
Okay, awesome. So you've got 6 of them.
Yep.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So throw in 7 configurations struts.
Uh-huh.
All right.
5
So now we got
points.
like how many points left? 5
5.
points left. And he wants to basically build around Brewer Scrut. So wait, 1 second. Okay, probe missile. Throw a go to the missile slot, and then just for funsies, throw in a where is it? A Discord missile. And
For flavor.
Keep that one initiative for
For
there
the
you go.
mirror.
So yeah, 8 ships are good. 8 ships are always fun. It's not the best 8 ship list, but there you go. You got 8 ships. By the way, I like William's list the best, but I can't copy William. So if he came up
stole
with
my
7 ships, I
answer.
figure let's do 8.
There you
Right.
go. That's fair.
All right. Well, that was fun. Thank you so much for submitting that list, Psych J7. That's always super fun to do. List of the week, always really fun. And I think as things evolve, we're gonna just keep that's a staple segment. I know that we haven't done it in the last couple of weeks. We just haven't. Things have been a little bit crazy, but we're gonna make sure it's always there. I think people really like it. Anything for the good of the order before we get into our closing ceremonies? Anything at
The
all?
good of the order. What?
And
The
I was-
first order?
The first order. No, I'm in my staff meeting that we had on Monday. The principal said that. I was like, anything for the good of the order, and I was like, that's a great line.
That's official.
I was like, I like that. I'm gonna steal that. They don't listen to this podcast. He'll never know. Unless he is. Hi, John. All right, everybody. Well, as for positive life choices, I'm just gonna make this quick. And it's all about accountability and honesty. For myself personally, this week was absolutely terrible. It was a bad week. I will tell you guys that I am struggling a little bit to reacclimate to teaching and podcasting stuff, and also other things just going on in life. Obviously family and just other things. Just got a lot on my plate right now. So with the juggling of everything, I have only have so many hours in the day. And I would say that I've made the poor choice of not using the time to take care of myself, and I know that it's always in the back of my head. I know it sounds like I'm making excuses, but I am just being honest with you guys. I'm on the struggle bus right now. Hopefully things get better, and I'm just going to continue. Just making choices one by one, and hopefully I make more positive ones than negative ones. That's where I'm at right now.
Me, I guess.
Anybody?
Sure, I'll go positive choices, negative choices. I guess I made the best positive choice, right? Settle down.
Oh yeah, we congratulated you last week.
I was a little late, but
You
I
were
guess that's positive choices. Settling down with someone that is, someone that, that I love and really care about, and
I think
with
that's the
someone
first
sad.
time I've heard you say that.
What?
That you love Kayla.
Well, it's the first time I've said it to you.
It's
It's not the first time I've said it to her.
Of course, I know that. It's just like it feels more real,
It feels more real.
You know?
Yeah. No, that's definitely a positive life choice. So, Um, yeah. So for everyone in internet world, there's going to be a wedding sometime early 2020 in Puerto Rico, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, just you know what? If anybody wants to make it out there, I know it's in the way out there. It's not going to be like a, we're not religious, so it's not going to be like a whole like chapel and all that kind of stuff. It's probably going to be on the beach, just like nuptials on the beach kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't care how many people show up, man. It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Are we gonna do the world's the unofficial world's wedding?
We could. I mean, she flies back on Friday because she's got class. She's got school on Saturday and Sunday, so she's gonna be there from Tuesday night to Friday. So if we're gonna do that, we got to do it kind of like on either the Wednesday or Thursday night.
All right.
She's flying back Friday, even if she makes the cut. So
Made the cut, got world's married, going back home.
yeah, it's like who needs a world's trophy? She's gonna give me a chance to try to win it. Feel like I don't
Nice.
want to knock them out. That's
Awesome.
love.
Will?
So
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done. My bad. Go ahead.
I can't.
go ahead.
I
thought-
can't top that.
You can't stop that.
You should have went first.
I know. You. Oh well. So I'm still experimenting, trying to break old habits, right? And for quitting to smoking. So been working through my triggers, driving, road trips, things like that. But one of my biggest ones still is social gatherings. When there's a lot of smokers still around, whether they're on their e-pens or their bejewels or whatever they are. I don't
My
know what
vape,
I don't
bro.
know. I'm not into vaping or whatever, but I did by knowing that I would be in an environment with a lot of people. We're doing some like role playing, some D&D,
Mm-hmm.
and like an outdoor setting. So because normally we're in like a basement, people don't want smoking in the basement or whatever. So, but we're in a more outdoorsy area. And I was like, well, if I know these people are smoking and my girlfriend's still currently smoking for the time being, I was like, I gotta think of a way to stop that trigger, right?
Right.
And I don't think it's a very good one, but it did work. I went out and got. You ever smoked those Black and Milds with like the nice little wood tips and stuff?
I have
Probably not. That's okay. I'm probably alone in it. But yeah. So I just went out and got like a cigar, but I don't inhale cigars. I don't know if I'm weak or whatever, but or if you're not supposed to, I don't know. I assume you're not supposed to, but they're just little cigarellos. So I don't know if that's like a lateral step or not. But it did prevent me from smoking a cigarette the entire time. I spent like 5 hours playing role-playing games. So I guess, I don't know.
Do you see in the chat?
No, I can't see the chat.
All right, so Staniszewski said, "Are we all in on helping Hagwood make sure he doesn't community smoke at Worlds?"
I mean, I don't plan to, but
And then it sounds like Staniszewski's also planning a bachelor party for Marcel, so that's fun.
I don't know. Friday night, Saturday night, like it's there.
that's the party nights.
Those are the party nights.
Those are everybody celebrating getting into day 2 and reminiscing. That's not the right word. Mourning their losses.
We went from remembering to crying.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's plenty of people going out Friday night.
Oh, yeah.
I would say Saturday night because I plan on being on. I plan on play Saturday.
Oh, Oh.
Come on, man. I'm not going there. You know, I've got so little story here. I told anybody who was on the pre-show. Are we still on the cast?
Yeah, this is still the show. Yeah.
Still official? Okay. So on the pre-show, some people heard it already. I was telling Dion, so I commissioned Luke because Luke took a few commissions for Worlds, right?
Right.
So I commissioned Luke for well, actually I didn't commission him. He reached out to me. He's like, "Hey Marcel, I got one spot left. It's got your name on it." So I was like, "Okay, I'll bite." He's like, "What do you want?" And I didn't have anything in mind. So I'm like, so I've been really into this YouTube premium. YouTube has their own like Amazon Prime and Netflix thing going on, where they do their own original content, and
Right.
they've been doing the new series of the Karate Kid, Cobra Kai.
Right.
And I remember it's engraved in like my soul. A certain someone
Duncan
of the
Howard. Okay.
of the Howard variety showing up with a Cobra Kai shuttle that took 2 shields on 3 double modded torpedoes to knock me out of World's Top Cut. Well, I was in Top Cut, but to knock me out of, I think it was 16. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'll bite. I want Miyagi though.
Oh.
Like, you know what? Because I'm into like this thing, so I want the Miyagi Do. So anyway, so I was like, just out of the blue, I'm like, give me Miyagi Do, and Duncan, if it gets around to you, yeah, I'm coming after you, buddy, with my Miyagi Do. Cobra Kai can eat it. So anyway, so I'm like, okay, give me my list. I'm not saying what the list is, but I said, give me my list and Miyagi Do. And today, I got a message from Luke, and it was like a group message. He's like, you two asked for the exact same concept and the exact same paint schemes.
Okay.
So it turns out I'm not the only Miyagi-Do representative at Worlds. A certain someone who has been at the top of Worlds, maybe at a bridesmaid at Worlds, is so a certain bridesmaid at Worlds is also flying Miyagi-Do colors. So
Interesting.
so I'm saying, hey crates, and this person's not a crate. So hey crates, bring over your Cobra Kai, and I'm gonna bring my gi. You bring your little fancy black and gold. Actually, black and gold is Cobra Kai, but who cares? You bring your fancy snake in the ground, and let's roll some dice, buddies.
All right. Well, there the gauntlet has been thrown.
Yeah. But anyway, it was just like a funny coincidence. Lucas was like, "Hey, you two, out of the 3 people he got to commission, he's like, you two asked for the exact same thing."
That's so funny.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for watching and listening to today's show. We podcast, of course, every single week. If you have friends who play X-Wing, let them know. Say, hey, Gold Squadron, they're at least average. Thank you to everybody who supports our content. If you guys hadn't seen, I did get the full art versions of our Star Wars, I have to say, Star Wars inspired art that we're going to be sending you guys here in the next few weeks. Let's go ahead and go to this. Nope, that wasn't that screen. It was this one. There you go. So you can see you can see Von Reg and Grievous there. They look so good. They look so good. So I'm excited to get those in your hands once they finish getting printed and all that stuff. And one really actually important thing, because people have been asking me, is if I'm going to have swag at Worlds. And the answer is, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to have swag at Worlds. One of the rules for any official content creator, anybody who's making content at Worlds is not allowed to distribute swag of any kind. I'm not going to be able to bring stickers, T-shirts, cards, anything at all. They said you can do a business card, which I'm not going to waste money on business cards for that purpose. But I want you guys to know that, because I know people are going to walk up to me and be like, "Hey, Dion, do you have anything?" And especially with some of one of the things we're going to be revealing at Worlds, we're like, "Oh, do you have this?" And I'm gonna have to be like, "No, but you can maybe get it this way." But I won't have anything physically with me at Worlds. So I want you guys just to be aware of that. It's not because we forgot. It's not because we didn't want to. It's because we can't. So
Because the mouse is more like South Park's representation of the mouse
exactly.
than the other representations of the mouse.
Right. The mouse's representation of the mouse. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Remember, we have daily content here, almost daily content here at Gold Squadron Podcast. If you look over my thing, we got the Paintcast on Mondays, podcast on Tuesdays, League Night on Wednesdays, Paintcast on Thursdays, and on Sunday nights, we have Echo Base, so you guys can watch stuff all the time. So thank you guys so much. And if you guys need anything, always hit us up on Discord. If you have questions or you're missing stuff, always make sure to reach out to me. I actually just finished shipping out like a bunch of I've shipped out every prize that was won during Worlds has been shipped. It is done. Okay, it is absolutely done. If you had emailed me within at least the last month or two about things that you're missing, that's already shipped out. So I should be caught up with everybody. Should, hopefully. And if I'm not, I'm sure you'll let me know. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week. Gold Squadron out.